It's really important if you're selling during Q4 to do daily research on current trends heading into the busiest few weeks of the season, especially if your Q4 didn't start out the way that you wanted and you had a less than ideal October for sales. Now is the perfect time to grind and get a few more high quality listings out before the busiest few shopping weeks of the year, and I'd list all the way up until Black Friday, which in the US that is November 24th. Last year I didn't even post my best-selling product for the season until November 3rd, so it really is never too late, so make sure you're doing this daily research. But it's just as important to know what not to sell to keep your shop safe this Q4. We don't want to be trading short-term sales for the long-term potential of your shop. So in this video, we'll go over the 9 things that you shouldn't be selling in your store this Q4 to keep your shop safe. So the first one on our list is this one here, and it's actually not for the design that's on this item, it's for what's in the mock-up, that Carhartt hat. Etsy has some bots in their systems that sweep to make sure that people aren't reselling things that they're not supposed to on Etsy. Etsy wants unique or handmade items, and so selling things like Starbucks cups or Carhartt hats or Adidas shoes, if you have those in your mock-ups, it can get Etsy's bots to actually unfairly flag your listings. And so I personally wouldn't post any mock-ups that have these types of logos within the photos anywhere. Now this design you will see has sold 17 times in the last 24 hours and is a current bestseller on Etsy, and that might really tempt you to make something just like it. However, you can't sell things that have other companies' names on them like Hallmark. You could make a generic version for this niche that just talks about watching Christmas movies, but you can't be putting other companies' names on your items and then selling them. So avoid anything that says Hallmark. You can't even put this in your titles or your tags, as that is protected against copyright and trademarks as well. The next one on our list is this Disney shirt. So this is one of a million different options that you'll see selling well on Etsy right now. But just because they are selling it doesn't mean that you can. For one, some people actually are licensed to sell Disney or other types of franchises products. And two, some people just don't care or don't know, and they post these items anyways, and Disney does just a few sweeps per year in taking these listings down. I have heard that Etsy is trying to crack down and getting these copyrighted and trademarked materials off their website quicker though in the future. And so you may get a lot of sales in the interim, but you will get your shop shut down for selling items like these. So avoid anything that you're putting an actual character from a show or a movie on an item, because that is always going to fall under copyright protection. The next one on our list is this design here with these cute little Christmas trees. Now, if you're not familiar with this super popular Christmas treat, then you might not know that this is actually a Little Debbie snack cake. And if you put this design onto an item and sell it, you are infringing on Little Debbie's copyright, since they own the likeness to these little cakes. And so these are the things that you need to research and understand for yourself, whereas if I didn't have it in this video, maybe you didn't know. So if you have designs with these cute little cakes in your store, it's not to say that Little Debbie is absolutely coming after people to take listings down. You might never get caught, but it is a liability to have in your store. Next up, I hope, is a lot more obvious, and that is anything with the Grinch. So the Grinch is this green character. If you're not familiar, he's from a movie series called The Grinch. You can't use his likeness and you can't use his name in your titles or your tags for any of your listings. This type of design sells really, really well on Etsy. You can see this one sold 52 times in the last 24 hours. But again, it's not worth trading your short-term sales for the long-term potential that your Etsy shop can make you for years to come. Now, this next one might be tricky because you'll see a lot of people have bestsellers and really well-selling items right now for a place called Pine Tree, Vermont. And that might sound like an innocent, really cute place, but it's actually a fictional place from a Christmas movie called A White Christmas. And if if you're selling items like this in your shop, again, that's infringing on somebody else's copyright. Now, once this movie is 100 years old, it does have the potential to fall under the public domain, but we aren't quite there just yet. So avoid selling any items with fictional places or characters from different TV shows and movies. Next on our list is anything with celebrities' names or faces on it. They own their likeness. So Dolly Parton, Taylor Swift, NSYNC, all of these people own their photos and their likeness on items like this on Etsy. And so this is another category that I would avoid having in your store. You don't want to do anything that has to do with any celebrities. This next one is the same category, but I wanted to show it as a really good example because it's not just Christmas themed items that you're going to be seeing selling really well right now. It's things like this as well, since it's also football season. So this one says Taylor's version, which is actually part of her album names. So that is trademarked, but this is also infringing on the NFL logo, which is a super big trademark that you don't want to mess with since they are constantly reporting people on the Etsy platform. So another super good example of staying away from logos and staying away from celebrities and their copyrights. Now this last one is actually a trademark infringement. So coffee and Christmas music is a trademarked term on apparel products. So you want to make sure that you are checking your trademarks on the USPTO.gov database to make sure that all of the sayings that you're selling in your store are free of trademarks. Because if you forget this step, this can get your account banned. Just 2 or 3 infringements sometimes can have you lose your shop, especially if you get them within a small amount of time. So make sure that you are checking your trademarks, and if you're not sure how to do that, I will link a video down in the description on how to actually check trademarks step by step. And if you happen to use Everbee as your keyword research tool on Etsy, then if you didn't know, they actually have a built-in trademark monitor as well. You can come over here to Everbee, come to Optimize, and click their trademark monitor. And this will help you monitor different alerts of things that are trademarked within your store. Now, this is something that they are still optimizing and getting perfect, but it is a really cool feature if you're already using this software to at least get an idea on if you have some trademark terms in your store that you might have missed or have gotten trademarked after you actually listed them and checked in your store. And if you haven't signed up for Everbee just yet, I do have a link down in the description with an awesome coupon code for you, where if you click my link and open up your account, you'll get 50% off your first 2 months of your growth plan. So instead of $29.99 per month, it'll only be $14.99 for your first 2 months. And if you didn't get the sales that you wanted at the start of Q4, then it could be because you didn't prepare far enough in advance for the holidays and seasons that sell well on Etsy. Especially if you're new to this and you're not sure what holidays or seasons even sell well on different products on Etsy, then I do have a resource for you down below. It is my POD niche calendar, and it has 40 plus different niches that you can sell in all throughout the year, and it tells you exactly when to be listing for them. That way you can be early to these trends. And if you're watching this in November, I will give you a bonus one that's from my calendar, which is the 100th day of school. Now is the perfect time to start making some listings for this product as it starts to sell really well in January. And again, that'll be linked for you down in the description as well. And as always, thank you so much for staying all the way until the end of this video. I hope that this saves you from making some of the same mistakes that you see these other Etsy sellers making, and I'll see you in the next one.